Hey everyone, we've had a lot of requests. Well, I don't know, a couple of requests, but we've had requests to go through the chase mechanics and do a chase in Savage Worlds. Chases are pretty fun, but there can be a little confusing, I think, to people who are starting out. So Eric
Yeah.
and I are going to go through a chase today.
Live. Live.
All right, so we've got our map up for our chase. Um, Eric, you want to set the stage for what we're going to
Sure.
be
So
showing here?
this is a live chase. We're not pre-scripting anything. We're setting this up. We're playing through it like we would. In a world where disease has rendered the United
Dun
States a
dun
living wasteland.
dun 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 dun.
Our intrepid heroes, a couple of mercenaries, have a job to escort a VIP and are pursued by the gang of I don't know what's his name, Johnny Bloodsport, and friends. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. They're trying to escort a VIP in their this car, the galleon is what one of the characters calls it, and the other guys are trying to either kill the VIP or like make the car inoperable, basically. Yeah.
And so we've set this up. Basic mechanics behind the chase for the setup is 9 cards dealt out in a line. That's from a separate deck called the chase deck. So 2 different deck of cards. You don't use the cards from the action deck. You have a different deck that you use for your chase. And we lay out 9 cards, and the suits will become important later as we play through the game. Because this is automobiles, cars chasing each other. Vehicles. The distance each card represents and is going to be 5 inches. This, and if you look in the rules and you check the different book, and we're assuming people want to play along at home, so pull out your PDF, pull out your book, look at the section. And then because they're vehicles, the maneuvering role or the maneuvering skill is going to be driving, which should be obvious to everybody, straightforward. So we've got the layout. We know what our maneuvering skill is. We've got the setup.
I just wanted to
Go ahead,
say
Eric. I was
quickly
going to
too
ask you to throw in, I guess, some more.
Yeah, just the 9 cards, that's just the recommended amount. You could put less depending on your table size or more, because potentially there's no really end. Normal chases, you end until you do the flee action, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. Sometimes other chases might have, like, they just need to get to the end of the cards and they win. But most of the time it's they flee. And so there's actually hypothetically an infinite amount of cards, I guess you could say, because you would keep adding to it and like kind of getting rid of the old cards. Also, the inches there, that's the recommended amount, 5 inches for a vehicle chase. You can do different amounts depending on what kind of chase and what their conditions are. And like things like foot chases or things like aircraft or whatever are going to have aircraft are going to have much bigger differences between them, or like naval ships. So that's just all like the recommended amount. I just wanted to make sure that was stated.
Fair enough. So let's go ahead and so now each group of individuals, by vehicle, and if it was a foot chase, it'd be every individual, but in this case, we're all in vehicles. So each vehicle essentially has an action card, an initiative card that all the participants in that vehicle are going to go on. Now, they can go in any order, and we'll see this as we play it. I just want to point out that you don't see our individuals in the car. We've got them on to the left-hand side of the map. So they're not in our cars, but the people that are in the cars is at the top. We've got kind of 3 goons in one of our sedans. I've got my Jimmy Bloodsport in his sports car, and we've got another sedan with 2 more mooks. And then at the bottom in the big SUV, we've got the person they're protecting. I don't know what his name is.
His name is Gerald Hornsworth III.
Hornsworth III.
He's an NPC. Yeah, so we got in the driver's seat, we got Chuck Ironsides Rogers, who's driving his SUV, the Galleon. And then in the back, we have Gorn Thunderfist. Because we always have like a Gorn Thunderfist in most of these videos.
Gorn.
And then on the motorcycle, we have Omega.
So
you can see with the initiative, Omega has her own card, and then the rest of the PCs share on Chuck Ironside Rogers' card. This also does stuff with like interrupting. Like if you wanted to interrupt the kind of the whole group, then it would be the driver who kind of does the opposed role. So if the driver's kind of like we're using the driver as the initiative for this. If something like quick, I think would still come into play with a card chase. So if the driver has quick, that would come into play.
Okay. So let's go ahead and begin. Shall we begin?
Yeah. Yes, let's do it.
So
you can also see we've started our cards about 3 cards up. That's kind of the recommended one too. Is that we have a little bit. The PCs have a little bit of lead on the enemies.
Okay. Omega has quick, so that's why you see the 4 clubs being able to give her the ace of hearts instead.
Oh, please.
And so we have our Goon Squad 1 has the ace. They get to go first, and they're the top car. And so now let's talk about the concept of maneuvers. So the maneuvers, you can do multiple things. You can change position, which is to move up a card or move up 2 cards with a raise. You can do that as a free action, or you can do it as an action. When you do it as an action, you get a +2 to your maneuvering roll. Remember I said a maneuvering skill in this case is driving. You can also evade, which is also a free action or an action, and that makes it harder for folks to hit. And when we get into it, we can talk about the numbers and the numerics. You can evade, and you can also force. You can also hold steady, which makes it easier for you to hit folks and easier for folks to hit you. And then final thing is the flee action. That at the end of the kind of chase, Eric is trying to get to a point where he can do this flee action. We'll instead of going through them, let's play it. And as these things come up, let's talk about the rules. Is that okay, Eric? How do you feel about that?
That's perfect.
Okay, awesome. So the first thing I'm going to do is immediately change position. Is the very first thing that I want my vehicle to do because I want to get as close. Go ahead.
You pretty much will be changing position. Like every person will usually be doing that. Like at least as the free action. You can drop back a card, and that just happens for free.
Yeah, you don't have to roll for that.
But pretty much everybody is going to be doing the change position.
Right, and so the big difference is whether you want to do it as an action and get that +2 bonus, or whether you want to do it as free action because you want to do some other action. So that's kind of the decision you have to make. And then there's also speed bonus. So if you're in the vehicle that has a top speed faster than the others or the rivals, you get a +2 on your maneuvering roll to change +1, +2 if they're twice as fast. So just so everybody knows, my screen's down here for the.
It's a lot. The chase rules are a lot. There's a lot going on. So in our scenario, Jimmy Bloodsport in his sports car has the top speed, so he will be getting a +1 when he changes position.
Right, but the sedans, not so much. So in this case, the goon, our goon driver is we're going to let him go first as far as the action goes of the 3 in the car, and he's going to change position as an action so that he gets. That's what his action is going to be. So he gets his +2 on his roll, which these are all extras. So any bonus without a wild die is a positive thing. And so we're going to
like how we talked about before when the groups go, it doesn't have to be the driver first. Like, and you'll see that with the SUV, but like potentially Carl can have some of the other extras in the car supporting the driver to give even more bonuses. But I think he wants them to do some other stuff.
Yeah. So the beautiful thing is I got a 2, but since he did the action with that +2, he does indeed succeed his maneuvering roll. And the reason I did that is because the rest of the folks in the car, I wanted to decrease that range. I was hoping for a raise so that we'd be on the same card and then hilarity will ensue, but we'll see what happens shortly on that. So the other 2 extras, goons that are in the car, they have rifles and they're going to pull out those rifles, and to start the game, they're going to go ahead and actually shoot at Omega because Omega is the protector to start with. One of them is. The other one's going to shoot at the car.
Now, is the car holding steady?
In this case, the car is not holding steady. So we did mention that you could do the hold steady as a free action. Just to start off, I'm not going to do that. We'll probably do that as it goes along. There's no penalty. I could do it. But that also means that for attacks against you, those are also don't have a penalty.
Yeah.
So I'm instead of holding steady and then ultimately getting rid of the unstable platform, which is what a hold steady does. It ignores those penalties, but I also then folks going against me ignore those penalties as well.
So the unstable penalty is whenever you're on like a moving vehicle or some type of like like a loose plank or top of a train. I mean that's a vehicle. But whatever circumstance that's like that, where you have uneven footing or movement, you have a -2 to things like attacking with ranged weapons or melee. And then there's an edge that you can have, steady hands, which eliminates that penalty. But of course, none of the extras have that. So yeah.
Right. So the first one is going to shoot at Omega.
Okay.
It's unsteady, so it's -2. The
She has
range is
dodge,
she's got dodge. So what is her dodge?
which is a -1, which we're saying applying. It's kind of up in the air whether that would apply or not, but I think we're playing it as that would apply, right?
Sure.
That's how we've rolled it. Yeah.
So
Oh, with that -3.
it's just that lucky her, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So now they're going to shoot at the car. The car doesn't have
Okay.
dodge, and the car
No, it
is
does not.
and what size is
The
the
size
car?
5. It's a size 5.
So size 5 is
Large.
+2, right?
It's +2. Yeah.
So +2 -2, it's a straight roll. So that is a hit. And we'll see if what our damage is. Only a 6. So that's obviously not enough to get past the toughness of the vehicle,
It's not.
which is disappointing, but they're extras. So I'm not all that surprised, to be quite honest, to start with. And now Omega is next.
Yes. Okay. Omega is going to, let's see. They're not on the same card, so she could drop back to try to do some stuff, but she can also just shoot them or the car. And I think she's just going to shoot at the car first. Now she does have steady hands, and yeah, so she's going to go for it. She is going to do it on full auto, and that she does have rock and roll, but it won't apply to vehicles because she's technically moving. So that's again that could be a GM's thing, but
That would be a very kind
written,
GM.
it seems like
They give you rock and roll when you're driving in a vehicle, but that'd be nice of them. So
okay. I mean, I guess the GM could say if you don't change positions, then maybe you can get the advantage of it. I guess I could see that argument, but in this case, we're going to say it doesn't apply. Okay, she's just targeting the car, which I believe is also a large target, size 4, right?
I think it's a size 4. Yeah.
Okay, so that will eliminate her full auto penalty.
Let me see if let me look at the car here, but I think it's a size 4.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Size 4. Yep.
Okay. So we got 2 raises and a hit. So I mean, the Uzi doesn't do much damage, but we'll see now how some of this damage works. So first one with the raise, 15 AP1.
I believe that will damage the car.
Oh, very cool. So let's talk about damage now.
So our toughness on this midsize sedan is 11 with armor 2.
Okay, so it'll be 10, and that will be a wound. So let's explain about damage. So vehicles cannot be shaken, quote unquote, but there is something happen when you meet their toughness. Basically, it depends on if it's a vehicle there's different rules for characters or mounts, but for a vehicle, they have to roll for being out of control, which is a table that he'll have to roll on. And then every raise is a wound, and then he'll have to roll on the critical hit table, but only once. Doesn't matter how many wounds you get, you only roll once on the critical hit table. So there's 2 tables he's going to be rolling on. Also, if it meets or exceeds the toughness of the vehicle is bumped, and bumped comes up a lot. And what all that bumped means is that it's moved back a space, either a space back or forward, depending on what the attacker wants. So yeah, obviously we're gonna. So yeah, let's do this. So first, you're going to be rolling on that out of control, right?
Yep, I have to make an out of control roll. And that, for, again, those following along, is page 119. And that's a 2d6 roll.
Yeah.
So I got a 6.
Of course, it's a 6, which you will see most of the time, which is
amazingly enough how 2 dice work with their probabilities. So in this case, it's distracted. And distracted means the ground vehicle spins, skids, something like that. everyone
Oh,
on board is
sorry,
distracted until the end of next turn. Go ahead.
I did mess up. I always forget this part. When you roll for when you roll for out of control, you actually have to make the maneuvering roll, or you go out of control. So my bad. You have to make the maneuvering roll first.
Okay. Or I maneuver,
Or
or
you
I.
go out of control.
All right,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah. We always forget that little part.
we're too wanting the person to go out of control. So let me do my driving check real quick. So
Okay. Well,
it's moot
no harm,
point.
no foul.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. Um,
So they're distracted.
so they're distracted. Everybody on board is distracted
Yeah.
at -2 until the end of their next turn. So all right, that was
Now the
Omega.
critical hit.
Now, well, did you do 2 wounds?
Uh, well, no, I did a wound. So every wound. Once you take a wound, then you roll on at the critical hits table.
Each raise on the vehicle damage roll causes a wound. So you got a raise?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just checking. I didn't remember what the
Because I got
number
a
was.
15, right, and you have 11 with 8.
Okay, so you got a
armor.
raise.
So
Yeah, I didn't
got a raise.
remember if you had gotten a raise or not. So
So I got a wound too, and every wound will when characters get wounds, they lose like pace. When vehicles get wounds, they lose maneuver. So yeah.
okay, so I'll roll the 2d6. A 7, chassis. Another, you get it often, and chassis says the vehicle gets some body damage, but nothing
Really
happens.
Yeah.
So,
But it is wounded and it's bumped back. So yeah, we'll go ahead and bump that baby back. And I have 2 more damage rolls because I got a pretty good rolls there. Another raise. Oh, here we go. Another 15. Wow. Starting out strong. So he'll have to make another maneuvering roll.
and failed it.
With a -1, obviously, but yeah. I failed it. Omega is doing her job very well.
A 9. That is also distracted. So no change.
Distracted. Yeah.
And 11. Hey, that's what you want to see.
Oh.
11 on a vehicle critical hit. Weapon. A random weapon is destroyed. If there is no weapon, it's a chassis hit. Okay, so we don't have any weapons. We're not Mad Maxing.
So double distracted, double chassis, but it does have 2 wounds and distracted. So that means any maneuvering roll it makes is a -4, and I get 1 more normal damage roll. 7. I'm not going to re-roll that. I'm happy with that. I think she's going to still make her maneuvering roll to try to move up. As a free action, obviously. So she fails. She fails her free action to move up. So she will just stay there right now, and she'll hold on to her bennies. Okay.
And that's fine, because she's protecting the flank anyway there. So, so we got Chuck, Ironsides, Roger. So the SUV now, it's turn to go.
Oh. All right. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna have Gorn Thunderfist go first. He's going to he's kind of be like get down to the VIP, which is Gerald Hornsworth III. Kind of put his head down, and then he's gonna pull out his signature weapon, his shotgun. I guess we'll call it the Thunder Lance, right? And now he is, let's see, they are 10 inches back, so well within the range of a shotgun. Now he does not have steady hands, but he's just gonna, he's gonna use a shotgun. Shotgun's got a +2, and the car is, so he's gonna aim at the same car that just got shot. So he's gonna try to double down on the damage that Omega already did. So he's gonna target the top car with his shotgun
at a range of 10.
And this is gonna be with So okay, I should have used the shotgun one, but so the size penalty got rid of the steady hands penalty. His shotgun does have a +2 on it and a trademark weapon. That's 3, so he got a 5. And then we have, I have problems with the shotgun damage, so I'm just going to roll it manually. That'll be an 8 on the shotgun damage, which I don't think will do anything.
Not to the vehicle, nope.
because the shotgun doesn't have any AP. And then Chuck Ironside's just going to do an action to try to drive forward. So he's going to use his.
So he's going to try to get that +2.
Yep, going to go for that +2. And I'm going to use the. All right, so he gets to move 2 spaces. And Omega's kind of left out in the cold there, but it is what it is.
That's fine. That's what she wants anyway. She wants to be back in the action. Okay.
She's a glutton for it. Yeah.
So our second goon squad is going to kind of continue. Well, they're going to have to go. It feels like they're going to have to go through Omega. So the driver is going to. He is going to use a free action for his change position. And the reason for that is he's hoping that he'll get a raise. Chances are not, but this is his thinking, so that he can do a force and use his action to attempt to force a rival vehicle into an obstacle. That's what he's hoping to doing. He's praying he gets a good roll. He doesn't realize he's an extra. He doesn't realize he doesn't get a wild die.
Yeah.
So
the characters on the holodeck don't realize they're holograms.
Right. So
for that one time.
So he's going to roll his driving D6. He failed, so he does not move forward. So the goon in the vehicle, 5, 10, 15, 20, with his hunting rifle. What's the range on the hunting rifle?
24, maybe?
Yeah, so it's still short range. All right, so he's actually going to take a shot at the vehicle. And with a free action, I'm going to hold steady. She's going to blast him anyway. So we'll see what happens. So he's holding steady, gets rid of the unstable platform penalty. He's shooting at short range. So let's see what happens. And he's got a +2 because the vehicle is large. Hit with a raise. Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see if we can bump this car back down. Oh, come on, a 5. You're rolling 15s and he gets a 5. So
I don't know what to say. You got almost lowest damage possible.
I'm going to spend one of my GM bennies. It just I have to because
do it. Yeah,
you're going to have to. So 13.
All right, that's much better. So 13 with AP2, right?
AP2.
Yeah, that's going to not give it a wound, but that is going to meet its toughness, I guess. "Quote unquote" vehicle shake is what I call it. So I'll make my maneuver check, and he succeeded, so he does not have to roll out of control.
All right. So that is the goons, and now we've got Jimmy Bloodsport.
Here we go.
And Jimmy's got a sports car, so his car is faster. So his car gets a +1 on its maneuvering roll. Johnny is going to use his driving as a free action because he's going to be sticking his hand. That window's rolled down and he's cruising, and he's going to just like pull out his Uzi and fire as he's driving. So he's just going to use the free action to do the maneuvering. Oh, got to click the right thing.
Wow.
All right, so he gets a raise, which is what he wants. And so, range of
see those wheels turning.
Well, I think he's going to, because he's on the same card as Omega, he's going to. Well, he did do a free action.
Yeah.
He could do the force as an action just to show that.
You want to do it.
No, just to show it off, right? We're showing how this game works.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do a force action, which is where the attacker attempts to force a rival from his vehicle or into an obstacle. You got to be on the same chase card, and it's an opposed maneuvering roll. If the attacker wins, he bumps, which we talked about, right? And raise is treated as a critical failure in a maneuvering roll. So let's see. Now, I'm gonna look at his and see because he can use shooting, he can use driving. So I want to see. Oh, I must. His shooting got deleted.
Uh-oh.
How did that happen?
Yeah, so normally it's an imposed maneuver roll, but the GM will allow other things like say shooting if it makes sense, as long as it kind of pushes them into an obstacle.
All right. Well,
But
Jimmy
yeah,
lost his
normally
shooting
the
anyway, so we're
drivers
going to
will
use
use it.
driving.
Yeah.
His shooting was a D8, but for some reason it got deleted from the sheet. Don't know how that happened, but so we're going to roll a opposed maneuvering roll. So he's rolling first. 6.
Are you
Um,
happy with that?
it's a long thing that's going to be wasting a lot of bennies, but he is going to Benny because this is pretty important.
All right.
So. And it's
So it
exactly
is.
the same.
So it is.
So
All
6.
right. She manages to swerve right out of the way before he can force her off.
And so while they're they're bouncing back and forth, the goon in the back is, as Jimmy's trying to knock her off, he's trying to take his rifle and steady it up and see if he can take a shot at her as well. Actually, probably should shoot at the SUV, but she's right there, so he's going to shoot her. So unstable platform. So he's got the -2. The bike is normal size, so
Is she shooting at her? Yeah, her, right?
yeah, he's shooting at her.
The bike or the bike?
Oh, shooting at her. Yeah, he's shooting at her, not the bike.
Okay. She's got dodge.
So he misses anyway. So a long description with no change. So all right. So that's the end of our first turn, round of trace, and then we'll go into the next one. 2 of clubs. I'm assuming you want me to draw
Please.
with the big 5 of diamonds. All right.
Better than a club.
Definitely club.
And of course, your goons get a.
All right. So I get my
Joker.
Benny replenished there. Awesome. Goon Squad 1 needs it. Remember, they're all distracted. They're distracted.
All distracted.
Right?
Wounded 2. The vehicle's wounded 2. Yeah.
So
now the cool thing with the Joker is when the group gets a Joker, they all benefit from that +2.
And they need it.
Yeah.
So the goons, so the driver, again, we're going to try to close the distance before they shoot. So the driver is going to use his full action to do a brain lock. Sorry.
Change position.
Change position. I was going to say,
and then all the negatives are going to be because of the Joker and because of the action. All the negatives are going to be wiped out, right? Because it's a -4 and a +4.
So he's going to do his driving roll. We're going to hope that he gets it. A +2, and it knocked it out. So it's net roll. It's nothing.
1, right?
So nothing.
Yeah.
So what do we got? 5, 10, 15, 20. So we're still within short range. So he's still going to hold steady. Might as well. He's already in bad shape. So with the Jokers, it's going to be that's going to get rid of the distracted penalty for these guys who are firing their rifle at the SUV, which is then a +2 for its size.
Oh, they're firing at the SUV. Okay.
At the SUV. That is correct.
So the distracted will be nullified from the Joker, and then they have a +2, and then they hold steady, right? So it's a +2. Yeah.
Yep.
The thing about salvage rolls, there's just 2s, -2s, +2s. That's it has to be a 2 and 2. Yeah.
So a 7, and then we had a +2, so that's a raise.
Yep.
16. Now I got a good roll.
Yeah. 16 and AP2, right?
AP2.
So that's
correct.
12. So that is a wound. So first things first, let's roll for out of control, I think. Now here's something that's not listed in the rules. That's a little nebulous because Chuck Ironside Rogers has the Ace Edge, and the Ace Edge allows you to ignore up to 2 penalties. It also allows you to soak. Now, if this was a character, they could soak and try to soak the whole damage, right? That would get rid of the shaken 2. What would you rule now? Because this we haven't looked this up. So sometimes we've done a lot of chases and things come up sometimes, and so here he's definitely going to want to try to soak this wound. What would you say? How would you rule this? Would you rule this if he soaks the wound? It's kind of like getting rid of normal thing and gets rid of shaken, or he'll just soak the wound normally and then still have to roll for out of control.
Well, so let's just read it real quick. The driver must make a maneuvering roll. It says nothing about. Yeah, I would say he has to make a maneuvering roll. I think the soaking allows the vehicle to, once this is over, he can soak that damage that gets caused. So
well, it's also interesting because it's like the order of operations you do this too. So if you take the wound first, again, they don't really talk about how this goes. If you took the wound first, then you have a minus on your maneuver check, right? Like you did it before. You did your maneuver check first before you took a wound. So it's just kind of interesting. There's some stuff that's kind of left out in the chase rules. So these are all really GM calls.
Yeah, and it says here, it says if it exceeds their toughness, whether they take a wound or not, the driver must make them. So when we were talking about this, we kind of ruled that they just immediately have to make that roll. To see. So let's go see what happens.
Okay. So
and they get bumped, right? So they get bumped too.
Yes. So it'll probably, so even though he didn't go out of control, he'll still be bumped. He is going to spend a Bennie to try to soak that damage, though. For some Foundry's not letting me. I have to mark these down manually because Foundry is the sheet's messed up.
So I only have one wild card to keep track of.
Yeah. So it says these 11 Bennies and it won't let me get rid of them, which is just really interesting. So basically you soak, and I believe you soak as a maneuvering roll. Let me check Ace real quickly, which is a professional edge. So I don't know completely by heart. Ace.
I'm shocked.
Here we go. I know, right? And may spend Bennies to soak damage for any vehicle they control or command using the appropriate, driving instead of figure. Each success and raise negates a wound. I do wish they would have said something like, but it doesn't affect the maneuvering roll, but whatever. So he will make his maneuver check, wishes, in one hand and Benny's in the other.
Oh, well.
So he does soak that wound, but we're going to say he is bumped no matter what happens, right?
Yeah, so he's bumped. Well, no, I already bumped him.
Oh.
Yeah, I already bumped him.
Okay.
He's on that card. Yep.
All right. And you still have one more dude, I believe, right?
And then I have one more dude. No, that one dude missed. This was the last guy who hit, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I have another dude, so.
All right.
Good.
Iron. I mean, see, all the Bennies were thrown, bumps what happened.
Yep. So then we got Chuck Ironsides again.
Yeah. Well, of course, we're going to have to go with Gorn Thunderfist first. He is going to, that sports car is looking pretty. It's fast, but it looks weak.
Yeah, it's juicy.
So I think he is going to. It is juicy. Yeah, he's going to go for it. He's going to try to shoot it. Now I have to make the decision if I want to try to shoot the inside and one of the characters inside. Just want to shoot the car itself. I think he'll just go for the car. I kind of want to go for a called shot here, but there's already so many minuses. Very, very, very interesting. You know what? He is going to the hold steady part. That's the difficult. He is going to hold steady. He's going to give him this line of shot because he thinks he has enough of a lead, and Omega's coming up next. So we're going to hold steady. Gorn Thunderfist is going to make a called shot on.
Well, just a real. Hold on. So that's. I thought we didn't split actions. So if he's going to hold steady, that means Chuck has to go.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, Chuck can go and hold steady.
Yeah,
when he
totally
goes.
Right. 5, 10, 15. So if he goes forward twice, that's okay. So he's not going to hold steady. He's just going to go for the shot. We'll just try to hit the car. Let's just try to go.
Okay,
for it.
sure.
So the size penalty of the car is going to negate the unstable platform penalty, and he has a +1 because of his trademark weapon. and the shotgun already has a +2 on it. So it's going to be a 5. So just a normal hit. And again, hope for some explosions here.
8 will not.
8's going to do it.
Nope, not going to do it to the sports car.
Okay. And then he's going to make his maneuver check as an action.
Oh, easy.
And he zooms forward.
All right. Then Omega.
Okay. Now Omega. You know what? I kind of want to try a little reverse force here.
Sure, sure.
I could shoot, right? But we want to see some force action. So I mean, my gut would be to shoot because she has an SMG. That's probably the smarter move because that also bumps, right? And can force much more critical failures. But let's just do it because we're doing this as an example. But just know that I think the ideal thing here would be to shoot. So yeah. So she got a 9, and I'm gonna stick with the 9. She doesn't. I mean, how many bennies? She has 3 bennies. Let's just stick with it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I did a shooting skill test. But it's the same as for driving. So
yeah,
it's
so it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
So you got a force.
Ooh, mama. So it's a force, so he's bumped, but it's also a raise because the target number then becomes a 3, which means that he treated as a critical failure. And then you have to look at the critical failures. So the different types of things in a chase have different critical failure effects. So whenever you do a maneuver roll and you critically fail, these are the things that happen. But for vehicles, they have to roll for out of control, and that just happens, right? I don't believe they have to do. Yeah, they just roll out of control. So let's hope for something good, everybody, like a major collision.
A 5.
And of course,
distracted.
it's the middle of the road. It's distracted, but
He's distracted.
Still pretty good. She bumped him. She got him distracted. She didn't have to spend any bullets, which will be a big thing for reloading. And now she's going to make her free action and maneuver check. And she's now so you can see how the bike itself has a handling. They did away with acceleration for a lot of things, and now it's in handling. So she got that automatic +1, but not going to do it. She only moves up 1. She does really want to get ahead more because everybody seems to target her, but yeah, we're going to stick with that.
Okay, so Goon Squad 2.
All right.
They're going to, so the driver is also going to do a full action maneuver roll because they are trying to keep up. Right now, you're really starting to pull away. And will hold steady because wants to let the other folks in the car take a shot. So at +2, his maneuver check. 5 gets to go 1. Just barely keeping that car going, and then hopefully we'll get a good roll on our shot here. Steady, so gets rid of the. We're holding steady, so we should get the +2 on this.
And who's he shooting? Is he shooting on
the van
or
the SUV?
Okay, yeah.
He's trying to get the SUV back.
So it holds steady, all right, and the SUV is large, so that will be a raise, right?
Yep. 9, not good enough.
No, it's not going to do it.
Okay.
I know you want to reroll that. I know you want to spend one of your GM bennies to reroll that.
Well, I just got one.
You got a Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might as well.
All right. Ooh. Ooh, wow. Why did I say that? I mean,
because it's fun. Because it's fun.
It's fun. I mean, so okay, so it has AP2. He didn't mess around with these hunting rifles.
It is the wasteland. I mean, where are they going to find anything but good old-fashioned hunting rifles?
Yeah. Okay, so sure. So AP2, which means the toughness is about a 12, right? So that's going to be 2 wounds coming at him. So we're going to do how we did before, where we do a maneuvering roll first.
Yep.
Before anything else. So he's going to roll for his maneuver check, and he failed. Now, do I want to spend a Benny here? Because we know he wants to spend a Benny to soak, right? He's definitely going to want to soak. So I don't think I'm going to. Oh, but then if he gets, here's where I'm then going to roll for like major collision. But this is tricky. Okay, so you know what? We're going to let it happen because he really wants to soak those 2 wounds.
Okay.
So I will roll 2d6 for out of control. I got a 5, which is distracted. Okay.
-2. Yep.
Which is a -2, but now he has ace. So, really it's going to, for him, it's not really going to be a big deal. But remember, everybody in the car is distracted. We have to remember that. And now he's going to roll for his soak, which is a maneuver roll, which he's going to ignore the distracted. So he has to spend a Benny, and he's going to spend another Benny to reroll that. Okay. That's all his bennies. He did soak 1 wound. So he is bumped, and I have to roll for the critical hit. So here we're thinking, oh, I'm doing so well. I'm getting away.
That bump is deadly, right? If
the bump is deadly. I mean, just getting a wound, right? Does a lot. Chassis, so nothing happens. But he is bumped, and he has a wound now, which isn't great. Right? You didn't already move me back, right?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not move you back.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of stuff happened, and he's out of bennies, which is not great. So I got for Joker on my side.
Now Jimmy's going to take advantage of this situation.
Okay.
He is going to use again a free action to maneuver because he does want to use his gun. So
he has a +1 to change positions, but he has a -2 from distracted, so this will be a -1.
Yep. But he gets he doesn't get the plus because he's using it as a free action.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Well, he is going to spend. So.
Oh, okay. He spent one of his already, right? And then
he got his free one, so this will put him back down to 2 again. So he's gonna
or 1, right? 1.
No, he was down to 2, and then he got the Joker.
Oh, you give him 3?
Yeah, my guy had 3. Yeah, because he's the only one. He's the only one.
Okay, yeah, all good.
So now I lost my train of thought. What was he going to do? Oh,
you're re-rolling the driving test. Yeah.
Okay, so success there. Just 1 though. And he's going to fire his Uzi. 5 to 10, range of 10. So just for fun, he is going to. So you got the guy in the car. You're kind of pushing him down. He's going to try to do a called shot through the window at the guy. So he's got cover. He's going to hold steady for his. He doesn't have to because he's got steady hands. So he's going to do a called shot just for fun. Just let's try it. See what happens.
What kind of cover do we have here? I mean,
well, we're going to give him we're going to give him a -6.
Yeah, because he's down below the
window. Yeah, he's down. So
okay, and then he's distracted still, so that's a -8. All right, good luck.
It's just for fun.
Good luck.
It's not.
Oh,
again,
and he also has the rock and roll penalty, so that's a -10. All right, this is fun. I highly enjoy this.
All right, so
I don't think I've ever seen a -10 in somebody go for it. So this is very much fun. I'm saying this now, but watch him get like a huge raise.
Well, and unfortunately his shooting got deleted, so I have to do it all manually. So 6, 6, and a 6.
Add it back in,
and then his wild die.
I'll add it back in real quickly. You said
you do that while we're in the back.
You said he had a D8.
Yeah, he had a D8. So none of it worked, but had to try. He had to try. It was just for fun, just to show that you can do called shots and try to get the occupants. You don't have to just keep shooting the car.
Yeah, you could shoot for people, and then you can do call shots on vehicles too, which we will actually. I'll try to showcase next time.
All right. So the participant, Jimmy's participant in the car, is going to shoot at the SUV as well, but this time
Okay.
he's just going to take a standard shot.
Yeah. It didn't hold steady, right? So, or did he hold steady?
No, he did not hold steady.
Okay. So it's a -2 with the everything shaking out.
So he did not hit. All right. So that is
Okay.
Jimmy's turn. Now they're no longer distracted.
Nope. But the SUV is. Oh, we got some clubs. We got some
All right.
clubs.
Let's explain what happens. Go ahead. Explain what happens on this club, what that means.
Well, first thing I think Omega. So first things first. You know, with bennies, you can always spend a Benny to get a new card, and rules is written. That's for anything time you're in rounds, right? So including dramatic tasks. I guess I don't know. I guess that's. But for this, it is. But the one thing you have to consider here is when you're doing it in a chase, only the driver can spend their bennies. You can't have the whole car throwing bennies to get a new card. In Omega's case, she's alone on her bike, so she is going to spend a Benny because I can see that she's on a club, which is kind of the worst thing. But Goon Squad 2 is also, so it'll be fun to see actually what happens. But she is going to spend a Benny, one of her Bennies, to get a new card, Carl, if you will.
King of Diamonds, right?
All right, yeah, perfect. Okay, so complications. Much like dramatic tasks, clubs are bad. Now, it's kind of a fun mechanic, I think, with chases that they've changed from the old chase mechanics. So when you have a club in your action card, your initiative card, that means you have a complication. Now, what the complication actually, the effects are, depends on what card you are on in the chase. So as you can see, Goon Squad 2, which is the lowest card, is on the 3 of clubs. That's the card they're kind of on right now. And that defines what the complication is. So there's like a little, page 116 of the main book, there's a little like table, and you can see for clubs, the mod is -2. So basically they have to make a maneuvering roll. And then there's a mod of either nothing or -2. And then there's a failure result. So for a club, it's a -2. And if they fail, it's treated as a critical failure on a maneuvering roll. So it just kind of makes it one step worse, which we know means they have to roll for out of control. So very first thing, and this happens before anything else happens, right? Again, not really stated in the book, but I think it's pretty much known, and from our research, that's what happens. So yeah. So he's going to roll that maneuvering roll with a -2. And he failed, which means it's a critical failure. If we know about critical failures, that means it's just an automatic roll on the out of control table.
10. Hey, that's something interesting.
10. Vulnerable. Okay.
So everybody in the vehicle is vulnerable. Okay.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right.
That was before anything happened. So now it's the normal turn.
All right. So getting back to the page I was at. So as usual, drivers full action driving, maneuvering forward. He's going to keep it steady. Going to hold steady after he does this and hope that he gets a decent roll. All right. He's vulnerable, but no longer distracted, so that's a success. The person in the car is going to fire his rifle at the SUV.
Okay. Should be a hit.
Well, so Goon Squad did not do well. Oh, wait a second. The
Okay,
car is
because of
plus
the
2.
size.
Yeah, the car is
Yeah.
plus 2. So, okay. Just an 11?
Nope. Just under.
Just under. All right, so that's the Goon. Now Omega gets her.
Delicious. Because you've steadied.
Yep. And you're vulnerable.
Which, yeah. So remember, steady eliminates the unstable platform, but it gives a +2 on any attacks against them, which stacks with vulnerable. So I think you know what Omega's going to do. She sees a juicy target. Um, yeah, and so she's going to actually let's have some fun here. So she's going to make a hit on the car, but she's going to do full auto. So she's going to do a hit on the car. She's going to do a hit on the driver and a hit on the back passenger. She's going to
Okay,
split each one.
and those will both be like at -4.
So those will be at -4. So let's do the car. Yeah. So the first one will be. Well, I can just roll and then I can assign them, right? So let's do that. So because okay, we have a +4, just trying to hit them at all, and it's a -4 for their cover. So that's a flat roll, but then it's going to be a -2 because of the full auto penalty. So again, just doing this for fun. This is probably not the most ideal thing. I probably normally would just go all in on the car, and then there's one at the car, which is going to be a +2. Oh, sorry, it's going to be a +4 because the +2, the size penalty negates the rate of fire attack. So yeah, let's just do it. Okay. Well,
Not
there's
great.
a -2 there, so it's a little confusing. So there's a 7 and a 4 and a 4. So I think so. So basically, I don't even think the 7 would hit any of them, right? Because it was the 4. The 4 was negating the cover penalty, but then there was the -2 from rate of fire. So we're just going to put that 7 on the car. It's just going to be a raise.
Okay.
So again, not the most ideal thing. She is going to spend a Bennie because this is just sad. There we go.
That's what you needed.
Yeah. And we know that the toughness is what?
I believe
11, right?
I believe
so
it's
a
11
10.
with AP2.
So the AP1 makes it, quote unquote, an 18. So it's going to be 1 wound coming out of it.
And 1 wound.
Almost 2 wounds. Almost 2 wounds.
Almost 2 wounds. I don't think wounds. It's like horseshoes. I don't think almost counts in wounds.
It counts for me, okay? I could taste it. I could taste the blood.
Okay, so it took a wound, so we got to roll for our out of control.
Out of control first. Yeah. Distracted.
Yay.
Oh, sorry, you're doing, yeah. No, that was, they succeeded to do out of control, right? Now, are we counting
Yep.
the wound penalty first or not? That's the big, I guess we weren't before, so we're not doing that.
Well, this vehicle's not wounded. The other vehicle's wounded.
Yeah, but it has taken a wound, but it's not affecting it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, it won't
So
affect this first roll. It'll affect all subsequent rolls, right?
Yeah. So it didn't
Um,
go out of control, but you still has to roll for the critical hit, and it takes a wound. That is bumped.
All right, let's roll for our critical hit.
2d6 there.
6. Chassis.
Chassis. All right,
And then
well,
bumped.
it's bumped, and it's wounded. So, and then she's going to make her roll to.
How many
hit.
wounds? 1, right? That's what it was.
Yeah, just the 1. Yeah. Oh boy. Now you can decide how much you want to go or not. She's going to. Let's see. When is Jimmy's going first? She can't really. She is.
What is she trying to do?
2 up. She's going. She's
Oh,
changing
she's
position.
moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know Jimmy's not going to try to force the SUV, so.
Yeah. And are they still distracted? No, they're not distracted anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy once again is going to do his free action roll. Hopefully, get a raise so he can be on the same as the vehicle. Seven. Nope.
Well, remember he gets a +1.
Oh, you got +1 because of his maneuvering on the car or
Yeah,
the car's
his speed penalty.
Yep.
His speed.
Thank you for reminding me. And that's a good point.
Yes,
It's it's a good point is that there is a lot of little things like maneuvering and but you got to keep track of them. Like the cars are wounded now. It's be easy to forget that the cars are wounded. So
now when you're using Foundry, the cool thing is when you have vehicles and you have a vehicle sheet, like when you buy the Foundry stuff from Suede, they give you vehicles that you can use. That's what we're using now, and they have their own sheets. And then you can do a cool thing where you drag on the operators onto it, and it links the pages. And then when you can roll through the vehicles. That's what I would recommend because you give the vehicles wounds. You can do maneuver checks through the vehicle.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. I've been doing it through the sheets.
Penalties. sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should do that through the vehicles. I've been doing it through the character sheets. So, okay. So, and you gave him his shooting back, right? So,
Yes, I did.
all right.
It's a
So
D8.
he is going to unload. He learned from his mistake. He was
Good.
a little cocky.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
He's Jimmy Bloodsport. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so-
part of the deal.
So he's going to fire into the car now, or at the car, not into the car. That's what he tried last
Okay.
time. So,
So you can see like a lot of the kind of special maneuver actions, you really have to be on the same card, like forcing and ramming, which we haven't even talked about. So that -2 is eliminated because of the size of the car. So we have 2 hits and a raise.
all right. So let's go with the 2 hits to start with.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're all got to get done anyway,
This
right?
could be very bad. This could be very bad. We're gonna,
10.
nope, not with that AP1. That
13.
will, yep. He has to make his maneuver check. He ignores the wound penalty, but doesn't matter. So he succeeds, doesn't go out of control, but he is bumped. I'm assuming you want to bump it back.
Yep. And then last one is the raise.
Wow.
Jimmy Bloodsport living up to his name.
Wow. And he's out of Benny's. My guy's out of Benny's. This might be the end of the video. Let's see. So, yeah, AP1. So 13. And then 28 is 1, 2, 3 wounds. So this, yeah. Not looking good. Not looking good. So first we're going to see if he goes out of control. That's why also rate of fire weapons are really good. He doesn't go out of control, but he does take 3 wounds, which puts him at 4 wounds. Which, because it's a large, anything large gets an extra wound capacity. So it's not wrecked yet, but it's very close to being wrecked. And I have to roll for critical hits. Now, no matter how many wounds you take, you only roll once for critical hits. And you can only be bumped by 1 attacker per turn. So I'm not going to be bumped again. But still pretty brutal. And I believe that might be
just a chassis. Right? It's amazing. Still just a chassis.
Gave him 3 wounds, though. And because he's out of Benny's, you can't do anything about it. Well, I don't believe I gave him luck, right? Let me just check. Let's check here. Oh, he does have luck. Because the things were messed up, I wasn't doing it. So he does have 1 Benny.
Okay, do you want to spend that Benny on the soak?
I am absolutely going to spend a Benny on that 28. So yeah, he's spending his last Benny, and he's going to roll his driving. Now the distraction. So he eliminates 1 wound. So
your car's got 3
because
wounds.
It's a -1. Yeah, so I'm at 3 wounds.
Okay.
Still pretty bad because of that maneuvering penalty now.
All right, we'll see now how Chuck Ironsides does with the maneuvering penalty.
Yeah, so Gorn Thunderfist is going to try to assist him, support his driving roll, because he needs to just get up. But, Jimmy Bloodsport's right there, and so he's going to go for it. He's going to go for trying to hit this car. And you know what? He's going to try should he try a force? Yeah, he's going to try a force. No, he's going to try to just hit it.
Okay. Don't you want to ram?
Yeah.
Don't you want to take that car and just ram
Gorn
it?
Thunderfist is not driving. So he's going to try to shoot. Now he's distracted, but he has a shotgun, which eliminates the +2. But then it's unsteady penalties. But then there's the car is a large size.
So it's a straight
basically
roll.
All that means is it's a trademark weapon because he has trademark.
Oh, so +1.
So +1. And he got an 8. So no, he did not. He got a 6, right? Because that +2 is gone. He's going to spend a Benny on that. It's really annoying because it doesn't seem to be damaging at all. So yeah, okay. Let's hope for some raises here because this is not looking good for our intrepid heroes. Oh, I like that.
That's good.
Yeah. And so it's a no AP, but it was a 10, right? So that's 2 wounds coming at it. So first he's going to roll for his out of control. If he goes out of control.
So let's click on the car. And then I do a maneuvering check with the car. Let's see if that works.
Ooh, wow. Handling 2. So you also, that's for the change positions, you would be getting that handling 2 as well.
That's all good.
But anyways, but he has 2 wounds. So he's going to be bumped. He takes 2 wounds and he has to roll on the critical hit table. Let's hope for let's hope for something good.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Wow, rolled it so many times.
All right.
Wow.
So I have to roll a 2d6 on the critical.
I rolled a 5, but you can roll it on yourself if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're cutting it out. So, yeah, you roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, you missed something, but that's okay. We cut it out. 8.
Should have gone with a 5. Damn it. He still has 2 wounds. So.
Chassis, 2 wounds.
Hurrah, hurrah. Chuck. Well, he's going to make it as an action. He's still distracted, so this is not going to be great. But with that +2, yeah, he does move forward 1.
And then last but not least, our goon squad. Number 1, who's not in great shape, no longer distracted, but they've got a lot of wounds on their car. So hold steady and full maneuver or full turn, full action maneuver. So let's see what happens here. So 3 + 2. That's good.
But in -2, right? So yeah.
Well, it already added to -2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moves forward once. I can smell blood. So the 2 extras, they are going to shoot at the SUV. Look at the range. Make sure that my rifles are in range.
Yeah.
So here we go. First shot. Holding steady. So we got rid of that penalty. They're no longer distracted. So it's at a +2, right?
Yeah.
So 5. 12 damage.
Yep, that'll trigger an out of control. But, he succeeds.
All right.
But he is bumped. It's not good.
Bring them back.
Not looking good for our heroes.
Gonna need to be. I think you're gonna need to take some risks, get some people out of the fight, right?
Yeah.
And so the second goon squad did not succeed. So.
Well, he hit there, right? +2.
Oh, it was +2. So I guess he did succeed. My bad.
On the SUV, yeah.
16.
That'll wound. First maneuver roll succeeds, but he is bumped again because it's a different character. And it's 1 more wound. Right? Because it's a 16 AP2.
Yep.
Yeah, so not looking good. Not looking good. We were close to seeing a flea action, but yeah.
Okay, so you're at 4 wounds with this vehicle.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll go.
Let's hope for a Joker. Nope.
And Omega got a 6, so just couldn't
Jimmy
use her
feels
quick.
blood. Yeah, Jimmy smells that blood.
So Jimmy is going to. Well, Jimmy's got a lot of options right now.
He does.
So Jimmy can he can try to. I think he can try to do a force, which is an
Yeah.
action.
Okay.
Nah, I think he's just gonna. It'd
I
be.
think a force. Let's do a force.
I'm trying to think if should I do a force or should I just lay some fire into the vehicle and see if
I
I
think you should
can.
do a force. Like if he's trying to like, let's see, like get his head right, like trying to force him off the road so they can surround them.
That makes a lot
I
of sense. No, I
just
think that
for the
makes total
drama
sense.
of
So
the yeah,
yeah,
because I think, like I said before, I didn't shoot because I knew which would be more
yeah.
advantageous.
So
To turn it off.
let's have him,
Yeah,
and he'll use driving instead of shooting.
yeah. I think as a GM too, you'd be like, yeah, you should. If you're in the driver's seat, you really should be using
Yeah.
driving.
So here we go. 10. That's a pretty good roll on a.
Well, 10 with a remember his wound penalties. But he has +2 at handling, so I guess that is a straight roll then. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now he doesn't. We don't got any special pennies. Oh yeah. So, I mean, obviously he ignores 2, so he's bumped. You want me to move me back, right?
Yep.
I mean, at this point, it's just ridiculous. How bad I'm doing. And then I have to roll.
And everyone
It's a critical
watching,
failure.
we did another version of this. We ran through it. We
Yeah.
didn't like how it turned out, and Eric just crushed me. It was like,
Yeah, I got away. Yeah,
yeah,
it
everything
crushed
just
you.
crushed me. So
Again, I've been playing the most optimal. We're trying to show off stuff, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
for
you
sure.
can see chases can be very, very swingy, and like, you know, I mean, that Savage World sometimes too, right? With like some of the explosions, but you can also see how like if you're not on the same card, then obviously shooting, and even with like little, you know, Uzis and whatever, can do a lot of damage when you get those raises. So oftentimes shooting is the main thing that you're doing in raises, as long as people have guns. Anyways, because he technically got a raise, so I have to roll as I rolled a critical failure, right? Which means I just roll out of control. I don't do a maneuver roll for that. It's just now watch me roll a major collision here and end the game. 9. Now that is distracted. All right, pretty bad though. I mean, right now distracted is pretty bad for. I mean, they're all bad.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so our Goon Squad 2 is the driver is going to.
Goon Squad 2 is on a club.
Oh, so they have to do their maneuvering roll.
They're both on clubs, and they're both on a club, right? Yeah, that's fun.
So Goon Squad.
So make sure you roll through there, because he has 1 wound, right?
So I rolled through the
-2.
vehicle. So I rolled.
Oh, I mean that's a critical failure. So he has to roll.
Why would
Out
why?
of control.
What do you mean critical failure? He's an extra.
Because you failed the club, which is your failure.
Oh, it was a club. I'm sorry. I was doing. Oh, yeah. I forgot this was the club. So, all right. So I'm good. 4. Minor collision.
Minor collision. Ooh, the vehicle takes a wound and a critical hit.
All right. So our vehicle takes a
Now,
wound.
this was something that when before were like, when you take a wounds through out of control, does it count as damage and are you bumped? It was kind of nebulous because the way that the books talks about it is that when it talks about you being bumped from damage, it says when like damage coming at you matches or exceeds your toughness, and out of control doesn't really have to do anything to do with your toughness, right? And we kind of thought that like it's already pretty bad when you get automatic wounds, that we just said no, you're not bumped. But so yeah, so he takes a wound, and then he has to roll for the critical hits table.
All right, here we go.
7.
7.
We all know what that is. At this
Chassis.
point. Very well known.
Boring. So
an extra wound, but yeah. So there was a tortoise in the road that he didn't see, and just the tortoise is fine, everybody, but
yeah,
he hit that tortoise,
and he's now going to try to, on his turn, he's going to try to force.
Okay. And really at this point, like you can say if every car is above that, like yeah, if the GM maybe forced the car back and they were all above them, and you could say, okay, they've now surrounded your car, and now you go to like a,
yeah, it might turn into
a straight gunfight,
like a straight gunfight
on a map.
the chase doesn't have to end and just say, "Oh, we ended the chase." It could turn
The
into
car
an encounter.
exploded, and
Yeah, it could turn into an encounter.
And even with like, even though you could keep firing it, and there's wrecks, there's something that's called wrecks, which happen. Dramatically as a GM, you might just say, okay, we're doing like a straight fight here with the vehicle, and your vehicle is totaled basically. So yeah, you could say that kind of at the end of this turn, if he's still behind everybody, then we would go to a map. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to
So
do
he's gonna try to
something.
force, right?
He's going to try to force.
Okay.
But before he does that, well, no, he's going to force.
The guy's going to support him, or
say again.
The passenger was going to support him, or something?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, do it, because you're showing it off.
All right,
so because you haven't technically done the driver's turn yet, the other guy's going to help him out, and that's something we talked about before.
So he's trying to point out, like, hey, here's some damage. I see the wheel. Go over there and take care of that. So we're defaulting to the notice check, just because I got to default to something, so we keep it going.
Hey, notice is consistent. Look at our support videos. We talk about notice.
So no help from the passenger. And so then we do our maneuvering check.
Yep.
And he didn't succeed at all. So
because it's an opposed roll,
he needs a 4 to even to have a chance of succeeding. So so now nothing good for him. Now it's Omega. See, Omega can turn the tide right now.
Yeah, Omega is going to drop back, obviously, and that's a free action. And I can't. This doesn't, like, I haven't even ever done this. Dropping back, I can move 1 or 2 chase cards without making a maneuvering roll. Yep, she's going to drop back 2. And let's see. Now I can't. Do you remember who's been holding steady? Anybody vulnerable? I know some people have held steady. Right, this guy.
The goon. I think the goon squad. The lower goon squad was vulnerable. I don't know if they're still vulnerable because they just
went. After their turn, yeah. But I believe this guy held steady, right?
Yeah, that guy's held steady for sure.
Okay, and people have wounds, so
the car at the top has 2 wounds right now.
Yeah, and they go net, and they have a thing. So she's going to shoot. They're all within range, and she's going to do 2 shots on this car and 1 shot on this car. Okay. Now let's go through some bonuses. Right, we're always going to have the size bonus. The size, excuse me. The size bonus is going to eliminate the rate of fire attacks, and there's nothing really else happening except for these guys held steady. Right, we're saying. I'm pretty sure they held steady in the last turn. Correct us if I'm wrong in the comments, but
I know.
So we're going to say that's a +2.
The guys on top are always holding steady, I think. So
yeah, okay. So yeah, let's do these rolls. So it's going to be basically 2 of the shots will have a +2, and 1 of them will be a straight shot. So she's going to use her Uzi. She just has enough for another rate of fire 3 attack. Oh, she's going to use her last Bennie, because that would be a right. Okay, but she eliminates the -2, and then so that's going to be a 6, a 4, and a 4.
So 3 hits.
And and then one of them has, and then 2 of them have +2s. So let's think about this. She's going to do. I said 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So she'll do the raise and the normal one on the top car, and then just a normal one on the bottom car. Right?
Okay.
Make sense? So she's going to do a normal attack first on Jimmy Blood.
Oh, nice.
I think that's good. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's only a car's got a toughness armor 2.
And an AP 1, right? So
that's a wound.
That'll be a wound, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he has to make his maneuver roll. If you remember, do it through the.
I am.
Because then it will do. Oh, nice. All right.
And he's got I may have a Bennie, but I'm not going to spend it. Yeah. I'm not going to spend it because let's see what happens. Let's
put some drama in here.
Yeah, let's add some excitement. So
so we know that he has a wound. He's going to be bumped, and he's going to have to roll for out of control and for critical hit.
So out of control, we'll do first.
Yep.
5.
A 5 distracted. Nice.
Whoop-de-doo. are always distracted. Critical vehicle hit.
Hit.
5.
Of
Locomotion.
course. Oh, locomotion.
The engine's
Oh,
top speed is
yes.
reduced by 10%.
Top speed is reduced, and we're gonna say, I mean, we don't have to do the math here. I guess you can, right? It's 160.
We'll just say that he doesn't have the +1.
But
You know,
and that means the Doulahan will get it, I think, right? Should probably be the fastest one now, right? We'll just say that, or
sure. I mean, why not?
okay,
Yeah, I mean,
okay, cool.
it's got to have something.
So he
happen.
moves back. He moves back. He has he has 3 wounds now, I believe, right?
He does have 3 wounds.
And he's bumped backwards. Very nice. And then we're getting 2 attacks on that card. Let's go with the normal one first. Oops. Normal damage first with a 9. AP 1. Don't think that quite does it, right?
AP 1, that's a 10. Nope.
Okay. Oh. No, she doesn't have any bennies, so that's really, really sad. I mean, I wish I had some hindrances here, but they have all their base bennies. I haven't got no joker, so it's very sad that that's not happening. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And
It's her turn. Still pretty successful.
So now it's Ironsides.
Chuck, who was distracted, right?
Yep.
4 wounds, just insane. But I think, you know what? I think Gordon is going to go for it again. He's going to target the sports car because I think he thinks if he can get the leader out of there, it's going to really demoralize everybody else. So
it's reasonable. It's a reasonable thing to think.
He's distracted. He's distracted, which the +2, the size penalty negates. The steady penalty is negated by the street, so it's going to be a +1. So I'm just going to roll my normal shooting just so it's not confused. Oh, so we just got a raise. Let's hope for some goddamn raises here. It's not going to do it. He has bennies.
Yeah,
I'm
he
spending
does
a
have
Benny.
He still has Benny.
Oh my god. He's spending his last Benny. I don't care. Oh my god, that's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Yeah. Not going to do it. All right. I should have done. You know what? I should have done force. That was stupid. I should have done force, not damage. Whatever. And then Chuck Ironsides is going to go for it, and he's going to have, yeah. And he goes up 1. All right, we're back in the game here.
All right. So now the goon squads are on a club.
Yep.
So we need to make that roll right away.
So we'll have a big bunch of minuses on this one. This is a pretty dramatic chase. I mean, I could taste victory. I was 1 card away. Now, we didn't talk about the flee action. Yep, it's not going to do it. So he rolls on what? The out of control?
4. That's new. Minor
Another
collision.
Minor collision. That same tortoise. The tortoise just carrying
There's
on.
like a line of
know what's
them.
happening. Yeah, there's just a line of tortoises, but they're fine. No animals were hurt in the making of this chase.
And a 4. Locomotion. So his speed is reduced as well.
Oh no, he oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh yeah,
he had a minor collision.
No, you're totally right. And he took a wound, right?
Yep.
Looks like 3 wounds, so we can taste some blood here, but yeah.
All these cars are going to be like limping along at the end. This is not like an action movie where the heroes drive away in an untouched mobile. So yeah.
The top speed thing's a little weird. Like it definitely factors into, say, like a speed bonus. It also factors into I think with ramming, I don't remember now, but there's not too much things that it goes into because you can only get to a max of 60% top speed. Anyways.
All right. So same as always, holding steady, keep it steady, and do a full action maneuver.
Which he needs to do because
he's got a lot of penalties. No luck.
Not gonna do it.
So he's like spinning around in a circle practically now. But the riflemen are still there.
It's not gonna take much. It's not gonna take much. Just 1 raise at this point, and we're done. I feel like he has to reload at some point. I guess we haven't been tracking ammo.
No, we really haven't. So,
ooh, wow.
That's a hit with a raise, so let's see what happens.
Yep. Man, man. I mean that, you know, it's not a wound, but it is a maneuvering roll, which he succeeds. So, whew, but he is bumped. It's just we're playing ping pong at this point.
Yeah, and so he's going to shoot. Then the second guy will take his shot too.
Oh, there's two guys. It's so annoying.
So that's a basic hit.
Yeah.
12.
You gotta be kidding me. And he succeeds, but he's bumped again.
All right, so
unless you don't want him to be bumped, unless you wanted to keep him on that card.
No, his bump's fine. Keep him behind. So that's the end of this round. I don't know, Eric. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah.
Or
I'm gonna do one more round.
One more round? Okay.
One more round. And then we'll talk about fleeing, but not looking good for our heroes. It is not.
King of Spades for Omega now. Over a 3 clubs. Okay.
And of course you got
Jokers! But Bloodsport goes at the end, so it doesn't do him that much good to start with. So Goon Squad 2.
I guess Goon Squad 2 could attack Omega. Possible, but
well, Goon Squad 2.
I mean, why not? Yeah.
So the driver is not dropping back. He's kind of staying steady, but he's not going to do a maneuvering check to move forward. He's just going to stick where he's at. Yeah. And he's going to take an action of I don't think he's got anything but a pistol. So he can try to shoot his pistol, but I don't know if it's going to that's going to go. And that's still at a +2. Basic.
Now how he's one-handing it at the...
It's like driving, and it's like...
I mean, that's it, right?
Before he's like this. He's got both hands on the wheel, and he's like, hey, they're behind me. Oh, now I'm just going to cruise. So
yeah, I mean, because of... Well, it only has AP1.
Only has AP1.
So actually, no. So even with, it's just another maneuver roll. But he ignores 2 points of penalties. So that actually succeeds.
Okay.
But he's bumped again. I guess we'll just keep him on the card for now, right?
Like, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think we definitely by now we would have turned this into some kind of combat situation.
Yeah, I think it's but I still think it's like, okay, like one more round. If you can get away or destroy them in like one more round, then we're going to that map.
Yeah, give it a whirl. See what happens.
Yeah. You still have one more guy, right?
No, this was
that was the driver making the shot.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the other goon. Too busy dinking around with my the tool here. So that would be a raise in this case, right?
Yep. Oh my God. Okay. Well, let's talk about Wrecked.
Let's talk about Rex. For those who stuck around this long, baby. You're going to learn about Rex.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, did not go well. So basically, you took enough damage, and it's not good. So, my bad.
It says so. It's on.
Everybody
page.
Inside takes damage. And you can see it's either 3d6 or 5d6 damage, kind of depending if the GM thinks like it was like super high speed. I think at this point it seems like it wasn't at super high speed.
No, I don't think it was doing so hot. It was probably sputtering along. Yeah.
So it's gonna be everybody's gonna take 3d6 damage, and basically it just like rolls out, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So like the car stops and everybody takes this damage.
All right, so I'll roll the 3d6. Yep. Oh, I forgot the X. Can I re-roll that with the...
Just roll another d6, maybe.
Let me see what...
I mean, at this point, everybody's going to take the
oh, so I got one more d6. Die.
Yeah, 18. I mean, I think everybody's going to take a lot of damage here. Nobody has any bennies left. So 18 damage is going to do a lot to. I mean, why couldn't I get that roll when I had my shotgun? You know? I
Yeah,
couldn't, like,
right.
roll once
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so people are. Oh, his gear's not on. Anyways. Oh, we're not going to go through everything, but basically everybody's screwed in the car. But Omega is next. She's going to drop back and just try to do as much damage as possible to everybody. They both held steady. Everybody has raises going on. So I think she's going to try to eliminate as much people as possible because everybody inside took a bunch of wounds. So yeah, we'll just finish it off by her doing some damage. She'll attack. You know what? Let's attack one on each. Why not? Right? One on each car. I think most of them have. Oh, they all have. It's like so many wounds coming. Yeah, we'll just do one.
So the car top's got 3 wounds. The car in the middle, at bottom, has 2 wounds. And Jimmy's got 2 wounds.
And she's holding steady. So it's going to be, because they're all with +2s, it's 2 raises and a normal hit. We'll do a raise on the top and a raise on Jimmy and a normal hit on the bottom. Let's start at the bottom first. 12 AP1. We already know that that's going to be just out of control, which could do more damage. Oh, he has to roll his maneuver check on Goonscog 2.
On which one?
The bottom one.
The bottom one. Okay. Failed.
Oh yeah, because they had a Joker, but he still failed. Excellent. Roll that critical out of control.
Roll that beam footage.
So for a major collision here. Damn it, distracted. No. All right.
You needed an explosion.
Took another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't take a wounds. But the other 2 did get raises on the damage. So let's start with the top Goon Squad 1. She's out of bennies, so yeah. I mean, minimum damage. Absolute minimum damage. And let's roll for Jimmy. And of course. So yeah. That goes to a combat with the SUV, with them failing their mission, with the VIP being dead, they're having a lot of wounds. Omega is still in pretty good shape, but there's no bennies at all because they didn't get any Jokers. But let's talk about Flea for a second. So we pretty much seen everything. We didn't see a ram. We talked about ram in our other video, but basically ram is a way for you to like directly do damage to another car. I could have done that with the Galleon because it's so much beefier than the other ones, but I didn't really get a good chance to do that. By the time I was on the same card, I was in pretty bad shape. But let's talk about Flea. So to actually get away, say Omega was trying to, we'll just say he was trying to get away here. You have to be at least 4 cards between yourself and any adversary. So not this one, because this is only 3 cards. It has to be at least 4 cards. And it's a -4 on a maneuver check, and it's an action. So he would have to make a roll for maneuver roll, and it's with a -4. And if he succeeds, he gets away. Every single card up you go, it reduces the penalty by 2. So if I'm 5 cards in between, it's only a -2. And if I'm 6 or more, it's just a straight maneuvering roll. That's basically how Flea's end, and how I would have succeeded, I would have won. But you see how my luck completely turned on this one, and
yeah, a couple of
not only did I lose the chase, you exploded the car, and I took a ton of damage. So yeah.
And so then the next thing, there'll be a combat. Maybe they get captured instead of TPK'd, and
obviously
now they have to steal another
the
car.
VIP is dead. The VIP is dead, right? Yeah.
Well, that happens. So, all right. Well, hopefully this example gave a flavor, a taste. Again, we did it unscripted. So if you saw some things that you don't know about or you thought should be different, hey, in the comments, if you play it different or you got a house rule or something, in the comments, we'd love to see them. But anyway, again, you've got Carl and Eric with Tabletop.
Real quick, I just wanted to talk about just a tiny bit, like.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the rules. I think out of all the systems in Savage Worlds, to me at least, and to, I think a lot of people talk about this, that it seems like Chase is kind of the most fiddliest. Right? I think you would probably maybe agree with that, Carl, that chases are kind of the fiddliest of all the kind of subsystems and systems in the game.
It's definitely
Um,
the one people love or hate, right? It's
yeah, I do like chases, but they are a little fiddly, and they, as you can see, like from kind of the stuff we talked about, stuff's not always the clearest in comparison to everything else in the book. There really is a lot of stuff that's like, you know, when do you do this or that or this happens? Like nothing's totally stated. So I think that also maybe turns out people a lot. But generally, I think they're pretty easy GM calls to make, and we've clarified some of those things. But yeah, I mean, it is exciting, right? And you can see it really does. Like we did this chase as an example, and I did really well, and I got away without barely any damage. And this one, it was the exact opposite. So anyway, I just wanted to make that final statement.
yeah, and you don't get a chance to play the same chase twice. So,
No,
but we
no.
did. So we got so one they
Yeah.
escaped, and one they are basically
Two
climbing out
different.
of a vehicle, injured, waiting for the bad guys
Yeah.
to catch up with them. So
It's like Schrodinger's chase, or I don't know.
Something
It's just
like
two
that.
two parallel universes of one where they got away, one they didn't. I guess.
all right, well, cool. So again, thanks for watching Tabletop Tango. Look at the bubbles, do the stuff. Would love your support. Again, throw some comments down if you play Chase different or you have other house rules that you use. Love to see them. But once
Yeah.
again, Carl and Eric, and we will catch you at a later time.
Happy gaming.